Today on Retiring Well with Centennial Wealth Advisory, we'll talk about the differences between the two types of financial advisors, those specializing in accumulation and those specializing in retirement planning.
There are certain types of advisors who help you grow your portfolio. They help you accumulate money so that you could reach that stage where you're financially independent, where you get to retire and hey, you don't have to worry about money anymore. Isn't that great? But then what they're saying is but wait a minute, once you hit that point of financial security, hey, it's time to ditch the advisor that got you there. You need somebody new.
We'll explain in detail why there are two types of financial advisors and what you need to know in order to make an educated decision when choosing your financial advisor.
They don't have the expertise because that's not their world. They're accumulation advisors. They are not retirement advisors.
All this and more on Retiring Well with Centennial Wealth Advisory, starting right now.
Retiring Well with Centennial Wealth Advisory, helping you make smart decisions with your money so you can live a better life. Today is the day you can take back control of your money. Retiring Well with Centennial Wealth Advisory, where we believe your best is yet to come.
Welcome to Retiring Well. I'm your host, Michael Reese. We've got a great show lined up for you this week. We are talking about the difference between financial advisors who focus on accumulation and financial advisors that focus on retirement. There's a big difference between the two. And by the end of the show, you will understand this and it'll be crystal clear. But before we jump into that topic, like I do every week, I want to take just a quick moment and share with you why we do this show. You see, I believe your best is yet to come. I really do. I believe the second half of life is going to be fantastic for you. It gives you the time where you can pursue activities that provide meaning and significance in your life. But of course, anytime you do something like that, whether it's travel, volunteer work, spending time with grandchildren, hey, it all costs money, and you need to make smart choices with your money. And like we're going to talk about this week, most of the financial media, it just focuses on growing a portfolio. It doesn't tell you, look, hey, you've made your money, now how do you protect it? How do you take income? How do you even grow it a little bit when you're doing those things? That's what this show is all about. And particularly, that's what this week is about. This week is about how there's just a chasm of a difference between financial advisors. And I have this great article here. It's from MarketWatch. And the title of it is your advisor still right for your retirement? This article actually came out all the way back in 2011. It was originally printed in Smart Money magazine. Heck, Smart Money magazine isn't even around anymore. I think MarketWatch bought all their rights. In any event, even in 2011, some of the industry, those in the financial industry, they started to recognize that there's a real difference between types of advisors. And here's what this article talks about. And I just want to read a little bit of this to you because it's pretty important. It says, let's say you get a call from your financial planner and they're concerned that markets are significantly overvalued. Sounds a little bit like today, doesn't it? And your advisor's decided to park 20% of your money in cash. Well, your first reaction might be, yeah, that sounds pretty good. But it may not be. I mean, your advisor might be giving the same advice to all of his or her clients, the ones preparing for retirement as well as the ones who are already in retirement. And if that's the case, you might want to find a new advisor. Because they say, here's what they say, even if you have a good relationship with your financial planner, perhaps especially if you do, now is the time to consider, is the person helping you prepare for later life really the best person to get you through that period? The answer, they say, quite frankly, is no. In other words, what are they saying? They're saying, look, There are certain types of advisors who help you grow your portfolio. They help you accumulate money so that you could reach that stage where you're financially independent, where you get to retire and hey, you don't have to worry about money anymore. Isn't that great? But then what they're saying is but wait a minute, once you hit that point of financial security, hey, it's time to ditch the advisor that got you there. You need somebody new. In fact, they say, for the past 30 years, the majority of financial planners have focused on one thing, helping baby boomers grow their nest egg. And that's good because we've needed that help. But then what do they say? Problem is, and this is important, this is what this week's all about, the problem is the distribution phase of retirement, the time when you withdraw funds from your savings. It makes the accumulation part look like child's play. It's a whole different set of tools. You need a whole different set of experience to make that happen. Near the end of this article, and we don't have time to cover it all, but what they say is simply this. You've probably gone down this road before. When you're young, you need a family pediatrician. Later on, you need an adult doctor. Maybe you had a high school coach. You've gotten to college, you needed a coach with a different set of skills. It's the same with your retirement planning. Now don't go anywhere. Coming up, we're going to be jumping into the details of the differences.
Essential financial strategies for a comfortable retirement. Join the Centennial Wealth Advisory team for an informative and exciting presentation with complimentary gourmet dinner and learn how to protect your assets from market volatility. How to plan your retirement, the best ways to generate lifetime income, how to safeguard your assets from unnecessary taxation, the difference between retirement advisors and Wall Street advisors, why getting a second opinion may be your most important financial decision, and much more. Choose the date and location that works best for you. Tuesday, August 9th or Thursday, August 11th at 4 Restaurant in Lakeway. Tuesday, August 16th or Wednesday, August 17th at Trulux in the Arboretum. Presentations start at 6:30 p.m. and are free to attend with a complimentary gourmet dinner to follow. But seating is limited and fills quickly. Call 512-265-5000 or visit send-wealth.com/events to reserve your seats today. There is no cost and no obligation. Don't miss this important presentation, Essential Financial Strategies for a Comfortable Retirement. Call 512-265-5000 today.
Welcome back. As we mentioned earlier, in this week we are talking about the difference between the two types of financial advisors out there, those that focus on accumulation and those who focus on retirement. So, they say a picture is worth 1,000 words. What I want to do here is share with you, the differences in a picture. So here we have, imagine this initial phase right here, where you are accumulating. You are working towards building up your savings, your retirement accounts, so that you hit the stage of financial security. That's our little dot right there, where you hit that point. And maybe this dot here might represent retirement. Either way, what is happening while you're accumulating? What's going on? Now think about this. See these arrows going up? That's money. Those arrows, they all represent dollars going into your retirement accounts. So think about this. Here we are, we're cruising right along. Maybe the markets are up, maybe they're down, but you're adding money all the way. Now, when markets are up, it means you're buying fewer shares. When markets are down, you're buying more shares. That's dollar cost averaging. I'm sure you're familiar with that. But the idea is you are adding all the way. Now, if you think about it, it's almost like if you were in a sailboat and trying to go from point A to point B, it's like you've got the wind directly behind you because everything is helping you every step of the way. Now, as you can imagine, there will be a number of financial strategies that you'll want to employ to most effectively make that time period work, to grow your money as strongly and as efficiently as possible. So that is what represents the accumulation phase of your retirement. We're trying to grow our portfolio so that someday we get here. We want to get to that stage where we are financially secure, where we've won the game, if you will. We've saved enough that we can retire. That's the goal. And so we have strategies that get us there. Now, the day comes. The day comes. You've hit that point and you say, that's it. I've done it. Time for you to retire. That's the day. It's a very exciting day. But here's what you have to recognize. All of these dollars that are going into your portfolio on a regular basis, they're not going in anymore. It's as though the wind has changed. Instead of having the wind right directly behind you, what's happening now? Well, if you're like most people, you're starting not to put money in, but to instead take money out. Well, now if you're in your sailboat, it's as though the wind has shifted. Instead of the wind being directly behind you, now it's like, wow, I'm trying to sail directly into the wind. And when you're sailing, if you're in a sailboat, the strategies that you use to get from point A to point B when the wind is behind you versus when the wind is in your face, those are two different strategies. You have to do different things. The same is true with retirement planning, and the same is true with the strategies that you use when you invest in these two different time zones, because this point right here, that is a stage where everything changes. And all of those strategies that you use to get you here, if you keep employing those strategies, if you keep, as they might say, dancing with the girl you brought or with the one that brought you, if you keep doing the strategies that worked here, they don't work there anymore. In fact, they're going to get you into trouble. You have, this period right here is a whole different realm of expertise. That's what that article we were talking about, that's what it's talking about. It says the expertise you need here, wildly different than what was going on here. And the reality is, there are many, many financial advisors out there that are really good at this accumulation stuff. But there are very few that are really good at making sure your money lasts as long as you do. All right, folks, I want you to pay attention to me right now. I have a very special offer. If you're one of the first 10 people to call, and our number right here, 512-265-5000. If you're one of the first 10 people to call and you've saved at least $250,000 for your retirement, we will provide for you at no charge, no obligation, your own personalized retirement roadmap. In this roadmap, we help you take a look at where you stand currently with the risks that you're taking with your portfolio, the fees. What are you paying your advisors, both the fees you see and the fees you don't see? What about a retirement income stress test? Will your money last? We also run a tax analysis, a Social Security analysis. This is something you absolutely want. It tells you exactly where you stand with your retirement planning. It's absolutely free, no obligation, but you must be one of the first 10 people to call at 512-265-5000. Call now.
Essential financial strategies for a comfortable retirement. Join the Centennial Wealth Advisory team for an informative and exciting presentation with complimentary gourmet dinner, and learn how to protect your assets from market volatility, how to plan your retirement, the best ways to generate lifetime income, how to safeguard your assets from unnecessary taxation, the difference between retirement advisors and Wall Street advisors, why getting a second opinion may be your most important financial decision, and much more. Choose the date and location that works best for you. Tuesday, August 9th or Thursday, August 11th at 4 Restaurant in Lakeway. Tuesday, August 16th or Wednesday, August 17th at Trulux in the Arboretum. Presentations start at 6:30 p.m. and are free to attend with a complimentary gourmet dinner to follow. But seating is limited and fills quickly. Call 512-265-5000 or visit send-wealth.com/events to reserve your seats today. There is no cost and no obligation. Don't miss this important presentation, Essential Financial Strategies for a Comfortable Retirement. Call 512-265-5000 today.
Welcome back. This week we're talking about accumulation advisors versus retirement advisors. In the last segment, we shared with you a picture of the difference about, remember how when you're accumulating, it's like you're going from point A to point B and the wind is right behind you. You're adding money to the portfolio. Everything's easy. But then you retire. And now it's as though you're sailing against the wind and you're pulling money out. Not so easy. Well, it's deeper than that, because what I want to share with you is that there are 5 different areas that you need to plan for when it comes to retirement planning. And only one of those areas has to do with your investing. The other 4 are other areas that you need to be concerned about. So let's make sure we jump in and talk about them. So number 1, you must have an investment plan. Well, sure, we all know that's what we're talking about this week. But here are the questions that you really want to be able to answer when it comes to your investing. First of all, what kind of volatility does your portfolio experience? How much risk are you taking on? Odds are you're probably taking on the risk of the market. You don't want that in retirement. Retirement is a time where consistency wins the game. What's your Sharpe ratio? That's a question we ask all the time. Very few people can answer that question. Can you answer that question? Do you know what your Sharpe ratio is? I mean, if you've been watching the show, I've talked about that on different shows in the past, but essentially it's a ratio that tells you how efficient your portfolio is at making money. It should be more than 1. You want it to be more than 1. Is it? Well, you got to know that. What are you paying your advisors? That's another question you need to answer. Do you know how much you're paying your financial advisors? Are you paying them? You see a number that you pay them probably. What about the hidden fees? Are there hidden fees? If so, what are they? All of these are things you need to consider when putting together an investment plan. Number 2, you need an income plan. See, retirement advisors, they don't worry about just the money. There are other areas that are important with your retirement. Your income represents your lifestyle. You want to do more stuff? Great. You just need more income, right? That's what it's all about. So the question you want to ask yourself is simply this: what is your plan to make your income last for your retirement? Now remember, retirement is like 20 to 30 years of unemployment. Yeah, I'm going to say that again. 20 to 30 years of unemployment. What is your plan to make your income last? It's really important. Number 3, you need a tax plan. Do you know what your highest taxed asset is? Do you know what or maybe said another way, do you know what your largest tax liability is? Well, guess what? If you're like most people, it's your retirement plan, your 401k, your 403b, your IRA. You have in these accounts, most of the time, hundreds of thousands of dollars, sometimes over $1 million, all of which is money that's never been taxed. What's going to happen to you when you start pulling that money out? If you're like most people, you're going to get crushed. But I got to ask you the question, when's the last time you sat down with your financial advisor and said, hey, let's review that IRA or that 401k from a tax perspective, and let's see if we can make some smart choices so that we can keep the tax liability down. Maybe you could save tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands over your lifetime. Wouldn't that be important? Number 4, Healthcare plan. Nobody knows what's going to happen to healthcare in the future. We all just know one thing. It's going to cost a lot of money. Well, how much money is it likely to cost? What's your plan to address that? And then number 5 is, of course, estate planning or legacy planning. What happens to your assets after you're gone? See, an accumulation advisor, they don't worry about all that stuff. All they care about is, how am I going to get paid? I need to invest this money to grow. That's all they care about. A retirement advisor is going to help you in all those areas: investing, income, tax, healthcare, and legacy planning. When it comes to your retirement, make sure you're getting the right advice from the right advisor. All right, folks, I want you to pay attention to me right now. I have a very special offer. If you are one of the first 10 people to call, and our number right here, 512-265-5000. If you're one of the first 10 people to call and you've saved at least $250,000 for your retirement, we will provide for you at no charge, no obligation, your own personalized retirement roadmap. In this roadmap, we help you take a look at where you stand currently with the risks that you're taking with your portfolio, the fees. What are you paying your advisors, both the fees you see and the fees you don't see? What about a retirement income stress test? Will your money last? We also run a tax analysis, a Social Security analysis. This is something you absolutely want. It tells you exactly where you stand with your retirement planning. It's absolutely free, no obligation, but you must be one of the first 10 people to call at 512-265-5000. Call now.
Essential financial strategies for a comfortable retirement. Join the Centennial Wealth Advisory team for an informative and exciting presentation with complimentary gourmet dinner, and learn how to protect your assets from market volatility, how to plan your retirement, the best ways to generate lifetime income, how to safeguard your assets from unnecessary taxation, the difference between retirement advisors and Wall Street advisors, why getting a second opinion may be your most important financial decision, and much more. Choose the date and location that works best for you. Tuesday, August 9th or Thursday, August 11th at 4 Restaurant in Lakeway. Tuesday, August 16th or Wednesday, August 17th at Trulux in the Arboretum. Presentations start at 6:30 p.m. and are free to attend with a complimentary gourmet dinner to follow. But seating is limited and fills quickly. Call 512-265-5000 or visit send-wealth.com/events to reserve your seats today. There is no cost and no obligation. Don't miss this important presentation, Essential Financial Strategies for a Comfortable Retirement. Call 512-265-5000 today.
All right, this week as we ask banks, we had the question about, well, why is it that my financial advisor doesn't help me with my tax planning? You know, you would think that would be normal, right? Because, you know, if you've got your investments over here and your taxes over there, you would think that you'd want to integrate or marry that planning so that you get the best outcome. Because we all know, you know, it's not just what you make, it's what you keep. So the question to banks this week is, well, why don't all advisors do that? Well, you know, I'm going to go ahead and answer that for her because, you know, Banks is off chasing balls right now. And we got a new kitten in the house, so I think she's running around with the kitten too, so I've got to kind of sub in this week. But anyway, the deal is this. If you think about it, remember this week we've been talking, there are two types of advisors, those that focus on accumulation and those that focus on retirement planning. When it comes to accumulation, where is most of the accumulation happening? Well, it's happening in your 401k, your 403b, your IRA. In other words, these are all tax-advantaged accounts. You put money in, there's no tax as it goes in, it grows tax deferred. There is no tax planning going on there. There's no need for tax planning. You're just putting money in and trying to grow the account balances. it's not until you retire when you have to distribute money from those accounts, take money out of those accounts. That's when tax planning becomes important. But if you are an advisor who focuses on just accumulation, it's not, it's pretty easy to understand. They don't deal in taxes. That's not their job. And see, what happens, as we've been talking about this week also often, is you have an accumulation advisor and you're trying to, but now you're retired or maybe you're getting close to retirement and you're expecting them to have expertise in an area that they don't. You have a comfort level working with them. You may have worked with them for many, many years. But let's be honest, once you hit the point of retirement, once you have to protect those assets and take money out, and that whole area of planning, the 5 areas we just talked about in the last segment, that's a whole different world. That's not what an accumulation advisor does. And when that's not what they do, that's why they don't do tax planning, because you're asking them to do something that they don't do. Now, there is another reason that your advisor doesn't want to help you with taxes, where you bring up taxes to your financial advisor and they're like, whoa, taxes, no, don't talk to me, talk to your accountant. If you ever heard that or you get something similar to that, there's another reason that they take that approach. And that is, in all honesty, they don't get paid to help you with your taxes and your tax planning. Let's be honest. They get paid managing your money. They don't get paid to provide tax planning advice. This is another reason, by the way, they're not big fans of Roth conversions, because if you do a Roth conversion, that means that you're going to give some of your money to the IRS sooner versus later. From their perspective, they'd rather have you not do that because they're getting paid on all your money. The minute you give some to the IRS early, oh boy, that means it's less money for them to manage. It's against their best interests. So you've got a combination of things going on here. You have financial advisors that do not get paid to give tax advice, so they don't want to even touch it. They only want to do what they get paid to do. And second, they don't even have the expertise, even if you wanted them to do it, or if they wanted to do it, they don't have the expertise because that's not their world. They're accumulation advisors. They are not retirement advisors. So the answer to the question, why doesn't my financial advisor give me tax help? It's right there, folks. Lack of getting paid and lack of expertise, even if they wanted to do it. So there you go. That's the answer to the question. Folks, that's our show this week. I hope you enjoyed it. Look forward to seeing you again next weekend. As always, have a great weekend.